Hare Krishna, then pranam to all the assembled devotees. So let us continue our session today by prayers to our Guru Parampara and Shri Radha Govinda. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayyam Dadadi Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalitam Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripri Vancha Kalpatarubhasya cha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Guru Maharaj ki Jai Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarini Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. So Mataji, hope all have participated in the discussion.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Any key points can you just summarize quickly what we discussed in last session? 9 slokas we discussed.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, we discussed about the parampara, significance of parampara, and first 124 million years ago, Bhagavad Gita was already instructed by the Lord to Vivaswan, and that all the parampara, importance of parampara, we discussed, Prabhuji, and you explained us about the qualities of Arjuna, and then we also discussed about the qualities of the Lord.
Good, Mataji. So we understood the 4 bona fide sampradayas, and then why Arjuna gets this knowledge from the Lord, being the devotee and friend, right? And then 4.5 till 9 sloka, importantly, we understood the divine nature of the Lord's appearance. It talks about the time of Lord appearance, when the Lord actually appears. So what did we learn? When does the Lord appears? Somebody can say. When will Lord appear?
Prabhuji, whenever the dharma is dharma को संकट होती है, धर्म संकट होता, धर्म संकट में होता है, और जो धर्म के मानने वाले हैं वो जब संकट में होते हैं तो उनकी रक्षा के लिए और अधर्मियों के नाश के लिए प्रभु अवतार लेते हैं पृथ्वी में. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
4.7 यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्. And then 4.8 we also know the purpose. Bhagwan kyun, what is the purpose? One is when Lord appears, and what is the purpose? So what is the purpose? Somebody can add what we learned. Shravani Mataji, you add.
परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे.
Very good, Mataji. And then we ended our session with very important sloka, that is 4.9, which says Janma karma cha me divyam evayo veti tattvataha. So one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities after leaving the body, he will not return to the material world. He will attain the eternal abode, is what it says. So what is the importance of this? Many, even after coming into Krishna consciousness, have no faith in the pastimes of the Lord, right? We question ourselves, is it really true? So till the time we have that complete faith, till the time we develop that complete faith, the Shraddha, we will not be able to attain the Supreme Lord. So this was some of the key points. Now we will move ahead with our points discussions today. So somebody can take up the shloka recitation. Who is going ahead today? Please raise your hands. Yeah, Kalpana Mataji, let's start with you. Others, keep your hands raised for further shlokas. Go ahead, Mataji.
वीतरागभयक्रोधा मन्मया मामुपाश्रिताः बहवो ज्ञानतपसा भूता मद्भावम् आगताः. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Praveen MS Prabhuji, you want to read the translation?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Yeah, thank you. It's a very important sloka. We are starting our session today. Even after coming into this Krishna consciousness, we are all suffering from attachment, fear of future, anger when we are not able to get what we want. These are all anarthas we are still struggling, isn't it? So much of material attachment, so much of issues we are facing in the society. And one more important aspect of this shloka is the ultimate goal of this life. What is the ultimate goal of this life? Can somebody tell?
Back to Godhead, Prabhu.
Back to Godhead and back transcendental love of Krishna. Yeah, we will reach Godhead when the Krishna prema, the unalloyed love, comes within us, right? But what is the hindrance? What is the impediments for us to progress in this and get that Krishna prema? Is we have not taken the refuge. Here it is saying, one who has taken refuge, free from attachment, fear, and anger, only such person will get that transcendental love, and then he attains me. It is very difficult for a person who is completely materially affected, materially attached, to get this transcendental love. What are the ways out now? We know that we are struggling. We know that our ultimate aim is to gain the Krishna prema. Now, what is the way out for us? The two way out we get to know from this loka. One is to take the shelter of bona fide spiritual master. Today being the Guru Purnima, for us to progress in our Krishna consciousness, until and unless we take shelter of a Guru and surrender unto the Guru and offer him services and gain this knowledge, we will not be able to progress in Krishna consciousness. This is one aspect. Second important aspect, there is so much of impurities within us. All these attachments, anger, fear, all these are because of our impurities. One who has completely surrendered to Krishna, he doesn't have all these fear or anger or stuff like that. So what is the way out? One is taking the shelter of Guru. Second is chanting of holy names. Now in previous levels, we used to say chant 16 rounds. Now coming into Bhakti Shastri, you're already chanting 16 rounds. Now what? You all say I'm chanting 16 rounds, but still I'm having all these anarthas. So chanting 16 round, what Prabhupada says is chanting attentively and chanting offenselessly. So these are two important aspects of chanting which will help us to purify our anartha. In our previous session, we have already discussed this topic in detail, so I'm not dwelling further on that. So the fundamental root cause of all these anarthas is having no faith. The unalloyed faith. We all say, yes, we believe Krishna, we are practicing Krishna consciousness, but the unalloyed faith in the Lord and his pastime is still missing within us. We understood from our previous session that From where do we get this knowledge of the transcendental love of Godhead? From Sadhu, Shastra and Guru. How many of us have seriously taken reading Shastras? Now, Prabhupada says, minimum 1 hour we have to read Srila Prabhupada books. How many of us have spent at least half an hour every day in reading Srila Prabhupada books? All the challenges we are facing, there is solution in the transcendental book of Srila Prabhupada. Everything is given, but we have not taken it seriously. Why we have not taken it seriously? Because still that unalloyed faith is still not there within us, right? Now, when I talk about faith, a beautiful story, hopefully I have already shared this in our previous session. There was a village where there was a severe drought, and all the heads of village called up lot of sadhus and sannyasis, and they performed very big yagna. Every villager were participating in this yagna, but only one small boy brought the umbrella to that yagna. Only one boy had the faith that as the result of this yagna, today it is going to be raining. Yeah, that is what is missing within us. And then further, when we read the purport of Srila Prabhupada of this chapter, one more important aspect which comes up is Prabhupada says about the bubble in the sea and the fish in the ocean. So hope you have read this purport as part of the preparation for this session. Can somebody say what do you understand from this bubble in the sea and fish in the ocean? Hare Krishna.
Shall I try, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Prabhu, Prabhupada says that the Mayavadis think that we will merge into Krishna. So that is, they believe that we are like bubbles in the ocean, like we will lose our identity once we merge into his effulgence.
Yes.
And fish in the ocean, like we will still be individuals. The fish will not be visible from outside. It will be part of the sea, but it has its separate identity.
Yes, Mataji. So, though we are part and parcel of Krishna, we have our own identity, right? We will not merge into Krishna. We are always, as what is our constitutional position, being the dasa, as a servitor, we will continue to serve the Supreme Lord. So this clarity we need to have. And then, as I said previously, as we take shelter of a guru, then the rise in our bhakti, the 9 stages of bhakti we have discussed, we will rise, starting with Shraddha. So what are the other stages starting with Shraddha? Somebody can say.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Shraddha, Sadha Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prema.
Yes, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava and Prema. So finally, through all, once we rise through this, finally we get the transcendental love of the Godhead. So this is about different stages of bhakti, and there is also 9 process of devotional service, starting with hearing, right? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. So there are examples given against each devotional service. When we talk about hearing, what is the example quoted in the scriptures?
Parikshit Maharaj.
Parikshit Maharaj, yes. When we talk about chanting, somebody else can try.
Sukadeva Goswami.
Sukadeva Goswami. Vishnu Smaranam?
Prahlad Maharaj.
Yes, Prahlad Maharaj. Wish to see some other participants also. Let all participate. Pada Sevanam is easy. Who is that? Pada Sevanam.
Ambarish Maharaj Prabhuji.
Not Amrish Maharaj Mataji. Pada Sevanam is Goddess
Lakshmi
Lakshmi.
ji Prabhuji.
Goddess Lakshmi ji, yes. And then Archanam, deity worship. Prithu Maharaj. Please make note of all these things. So in future classes, if asked, expect devotees to respond. And then praying is Akrura. Executing orders, Dasyam Bhava. Who is Dasya? Who is the person?
Hanuman.
Hanuman. Yes, Bhakta Hanuman. And then Sakya, Arjuna. And complete surrender is
Bali Maharaj.
Bali Maharaj. And Amrish Maharaj is the one who has done all these 9 process of devotional service. Okay. Yes, now we are now moving to the section 2, Shloka 4.11 to 4.15, applying transcendental knowledge. Now we have got the knowledge. How do we apply this in Krishna consciousness? And one more important aspect we learn in this section is, now we know that what is pure devotional service? Anya abhilashita shunyam, right? Without any expectation. But are we in that stage? No, right? So we all have come into Krishna consciousness. We all have some expectation. We have come into Krishna consciousness with expectation. We are practicing Krishna consciousness. Still, we have some expectation of return from the Lord. So we try to understand, what if someone takes shelter of Krishna with something other than desire to achieve transcendental love? Krishna explains in 4.11. This again is a very important shloka. Somebody can take up. Who is to please raise your hands?
May
Who
I
is that? Yeah, Chiranjit Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी प्रणाम ये यथा माम प्रपद्यन्ते तांस्तथैव भजाम्य मम वर्तमानो वर्तन्ते मनुष्या पार्थ सर्वशः.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So somebody can read Shiv Kumar Biradar Prabhu. Can you please read this?
Yeah, as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects. O son of Radha, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. So for shloka recitation, keep the hands raised. Everybody will get the chance. And see, this is very important shloka. Ye yathamam prapadyante. To the degree you surrender, I reciprocate. Yeah. If you surrender to the Lord with some material expectation of some material benediction, you will get only that. The devotees who surrender for the pure bhakti, Krishna reciprocate with the pure devotion. This is very important. And we have also seen many take shortcuts in our bhakti, right? Many approach demigods for various benedictions. So here, what do we understand from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 3, Shloka 10? There is a beautiful shloka which says, Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena bhajate purusham param. So in this, Supreme Lord clearly says that whether one is without any desire, anya bilashita shunya, or one who is desirous of fruitive activities, or even somebody is desirous of moksha, one should, with all effort, should surrender to the Supreme Lord. So reach out to Supreme Lord, whatever stage you are. We are not in a stage of a pure devotee where we have no other desire, but whatever desire we have, instead of wandering, instead of taking shortcuts, just go to the Supreme Lord, cry out your situation. You can always pray, oh Lord, this is my situation. If you so desire, let this happen to me. So many are struggling for some job change or whatever it is. If any such request when you put up, you can always say to the Lord, if you so desire, please help me out of this situation. Yeah. Yes. Now, further discussing on this particular topic. So, the devotees of the Lord have no other expectation. Whoever has whatever expectation, ye yathamam prapadyante, Lord, reciprocate. So for the fruity worker, the Lord reciprocate as Yagneshwara. The Mayavadis, Lord reciprocate as Brahma Jyoti. For yogis, he reciprocate as mystic power. And for the devotees, he reciprocate in 5 rasas. So what are the 5 rasas we have discussed? We will touch upon in further slide. Wish to know such open questions anybody can answer. What are the 5 rasas Lord reciprocate with his devotees?
Shanta, Dasya,
Shanta rasa, yes. Dasya,
Vatsalya, Madhurya, Shakti.
yes. Right, Prabhuji. We will discuss that further in detail. So as we said, people approach to Lord with different expectations. Similarly, different people will realize Lord in 3 different ways we discussed. So what are these 3 ways one realize the Lord? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. It's Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwan iti Shabdyati.
Yes, Prabhu. So, Shloka 1. Canto 1, chapter 2, Shloka 11 from Srimad Bhagavatam says about this that Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yajnana advayam brahmeti paramameti bhagwaniti sabhyate. So the highest, topmost, a pure devotee reciprocates he realizes in the Bhagwan feature, that is personal feature of the Lord. And then the 5 rasas we discussed: Shanta rasa, Dhasya rasa, Shakhya, Vatsalya and Madhurya, right? So Shanta rasa, any examples? Quick examples. What is Shanta rasa?
The animals and plants and trees in
Yes,
Vrindavan.
of Vrindavan. Dasya,
Hanumanji.
yes. Sakhya, we discussed, right? Arjuna. And then Vatsalya,
Yashoda Maiya.
yes. Madhurya rasa, the gopis,
Radha.
right? There is one person who has exchanged this relationship with Lord in all 5 rasas. Who is that? Anybody knows? As part of
Balaram.
this preparation, yes, Balaram. Yes, Balaram. Balaram as Shantarasa, all the paraphernalia like the Mridanga, everything is expansion of Balaram, right? And Balaram also exchanged as Dasya Rasa whenever they were playing when the Lord is tired. Balaram has pressed the foot of Lord, and similar loving exchange the Lord has exchanged with Balaram. Sakya Rasa, they have always been like friends in their Balya pastime. And then Vatsalya Rasa, as a elder brother, is always in love with Lord. And Madhurya Rasa. So this is one new learning for me also as part of this preparation. So Balaram, as Ananga Manjari, he participated in the Rasalila of Krishna. So that way he also exchanged Madhurya Rasa. Let us move to the next shloka. Chanda Yadav Mataji, you want to recite this shloka?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Ye yatham. This is 11th, right?
12th Mataji.
12th.
It is on the screen.
Oh, yes. काङ्क्षन्तः कर्मणां सिद्धिं यजन्त यः देवताः क्षिप्रं हि मानुषे लोके सिद्धिर्भवति कर्मजा. Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So Manashidas Mataji, you want to read the translation?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Men in this world desire success in fruitive activities and therefore they worship the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get result from fruitive work in this world. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. So why a demigod worshipper is known as less intelligent? Shastra says the person who is worshipping demigod is less intelligent. Why is that? Somebody can add.
Can I Prabhu?
Go ahead, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, pranams.
Hare Krishna.
Because the results that we get from them are temporary, and we must remember that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they are his administrators only. Without his say, nothing happens. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. So, there is a beautiful shloka from Katha Upanishad 2.2. It says, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. So, we need to understand even the demigods, the topmost demigods like even Brahma and Shiva, they are all part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. They are also the living entities. So, though both the Lord and the living entities are eternal, what is the difference? The Lord is unlimited and we are all limited. And when we talk about demigod worship, we need to see what actually the topmost demigod themselves are talking about the worship of the Supreme Lord. So what is Brahma saying in Brahma Samhita? He says, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So Brahma, the creator of this universe, he himself is saying that Krishna is the Supreme Lord Parama Ishwara, and he is the Sarva Karana Karanam. And what is Lord Shiva saying to Parvati Devi is Aradhanam Sarvesham Vishnu Aradhanam Param. So among all the worship, Vishnu Aradhanam is Param, is what even Lord Shiva is saying. And Lord Ganapati in Brahma Samhita, he says, I worship Param Purushottama Govinda, whose feet is always were on my forehead to gain the strength of my task of destroying all the obstacles. So we always go to Lord Ganesha to remove all the impediments, right, for our material progress. From where is he getting this strength? As Nandita Mataji just said, these are all demigods. These powers are being bestowed onto them by the Supreme Lord. So again, Chaitanya Charitamritaam, there is a beautiful shloka from Adi Leela 5.142, which says, Ekale Ishvara Krishna Arasabha Britya Yare Yeche Nachaya Se Taiche Kare Nritya. So it says the Supreme Lord Krishna is the only Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the Supreme Controller of all the demigods, all the living entities, everything, animate and inanimate, everything is controlled by the Supreme Lord. Rest, everybody are serving this Lord and everybody are dancing to the tunes of the Lord, is what we understand from this. So again, it is further discussed. So couple of analogies regarding this we have discussed. What are those analogies which talks about worshipping the Lord than taking shortcuts worshipping the demigods? What are those analogies come to your mind? Can somebody say? Very popular analogy starting from level 1. We all been taught about this.
Watering the roots instead of watering the branches, and having food not directly nourishes every part of the body.
Yes. So filling the stomach will nourish all the body, right? Other day I was listening to one of the sessions where Prabhupada quotes, one day all the limbs of our body they think they are doing more significant service and they go on strike without giving food to the stomach. After few days, everything started getting affected, and only then they realize that when the food is when the stomach is full, they're all happy. So that is what we need to understand when we pour the water onto the root. When the Supreme Lord is happy, rest all the limbs of the Supreme Lord is also happy. Let us move now to the next shloka. This again is an important shloka. Who is to take up? Shanti Sudesh Mataji.
Chaturvarnyam maya shrishtam gunakarma vibhagasah tasya kartaram apimam vidya kartaram avyayam.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Who is going for Shravani Ji Mataji? Can you please read this translation? Hare Krishna. Jyoti Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
please read this.
According to the three modes of material nature, the work associated with them, the four divisions of human society are created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So here, what are we trying to learn is Krishna has created this Varnashrama system based on guna and karma, right? Just because somebody has taken a birth in Brahmana family or a Vaishya family or a Kshatriya family, it doesn't qualify to be one, but by his guna and karma only one becomes, is what we understand. What is the purpose of Varnashrama system? Why God created this? Any views on this?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, one beautiful slok is there.
Yes, Prabhu.
Varna ashram charvata purusha pumanayo Vishnu aradhyate. For the worship of Vishnu, that's why it's means four varnas has been created.
Yes. So through this Varnashrama dharma, we have to rise to a stage, rise to a knowledge where we realize the Supreme Lord is Krishna, the Vishnu, and worship, the service to the Lord is our ultimate aim. So that is how this system is done. So we will try to understand more in detail here. The purpose of this system, Varnashrama system, is to elevate from animal status of life to human life, right? Before coming into Krishna consciousness, I can't say about you, but at least I can talk about myself. I was literally living like an animal, and then by the mercy of Guru and the devotees, we are trying to transform from being an animal to a human being now. And then people could purify themselves by regulating their desires. So through this guna and karma, one is regulating and completely reaching a stage where the process of purification, one whose material desire inhibits him from directly approaching Krishna. So all this material desire is slowly getting vanquished. And what are we trying to do? The sadhana bhakti is trying to rise from the tamoguna to a stage of satguna, and rising above satguna is what we have learnt in our previous levels, that even satguna binds us in this material world, right? Similarly, the guna karma, one janmana jayate shudra, everybody born shudra in this material world, in this Kali Yuga. From there he rise to a brahmanical qualities, and from there he will further rise to Vaishnava stage, right? So that is our endeavors. So we will discuss further. We have discussed about the way we were doing vikarma, and then we are rising to karma, and then we will rise to akarma stage. So this is what Chaturvarnam, this system, is helping us to rise. Let's move to the next sloka. Please keep the hands raised.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sorry, Prabhuji, problem in unmuting. I will read this sloka, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please go ahead, Mataji.
Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spruha iti mam yo bhijanati karma bhirna sabhadyate.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Aruna Mataji, can you please read this translation, please?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Next sloka.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Next sloka I will read, Prabhuji.
Next sloka, okay. Praveen K. Prabhu, can you please read the translation for me?
Hare Krishna, there is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reaction of work. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Can you please continue reading this?
There is no work that, although Lord is creator of material world, He is not affected by the activities of material world. He remains aloof from the creation. The living entities are entangled in the fruitive results of material activities because of their proportionality for lording in over material resources not obtained by the Lord. The various creation of Lord include the demigods, human beings, and the lower animals, all subject to the reaction of their past good and bad activities or bad activities. The Lord is never partial, nor to any living entity. A Krishna conscious person is never subject to the laws of karma.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Prabhu. So, as we discussed, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam, only God is the supreme creator and above three modes of material nature, and all other, including the topmost demigods, are also under the clutches of material modes of nature. Right? So, if we have to break free from this, we have to take shelter of the Supreme Lord and nobody else, is what we try to understand. And it says Krishna consciousness person is never subjected to the laws of karma. As we are completely engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord and chant the holy names, we are free from the laws of karma. We will discuss more in further slokas on this particular topic. Next sloka. Devika Mataji, you wish to recite this sloka?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mata.
Evam jnatva pratam karma purvair api mukshubhi kuru karmeva tasmatvam purve purva taram kratam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Shweta Mataji, you wish to read this translation, please?
Yes, all the liberated souls in ancient times acted with this understanding of my transcendental nature. Therefore, you should perform your duty following in their footsteps. Hare Krishna.
Yes. So, we have to follow the footstep of great acharyas, is what we understand from this particular topic. So, there are two kinds of people. One is materially contaminated and the other is free from this entanglement. So, what we understand is Krishna consciousness is beneficial for both. Even the pure devotees or somebody like us who are contaminated or conditioned, Krishna consciousness, chanting of holy name has potency for both kind of people. Both neophyte and materialistic will also gradually purify following the acharyas and varnashrama dharma. Now we are now moving to the next section, section 3, 4.16 to 4.24. Understanding karma on the platform of jnana. With the knowledge, we try to understand the karma. So, through how do we rise to the jnana stage is by performing nishkama karma yoga. So, what is nishkama karma yoga?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Without desiring the fruits of the activities, we are doing karmas, Prabhuji.
Yes, yes. So,
and Prabhuji, one more point to this. Whatever the action, whatever the karma we perform, and the fruit we are not accepting, we were not desiring, but whatever the fruit is coming to us, we are accepting as the prasadam.
Yes, yes, correct, Mataji. And then one more important aspect we are going to understand from this is when we are engaging in our karma, definitely there will be reactions and we will be facing a lot of difficult situations in our life because of our past life, this life as well as many past life karmas. Now, as soon as we come into Krishna consciousness, we can't expect that our life is as smooth, right? Even it is said that devotees also go through a lot of difficult situation, but by the knowledge what they have got from this Bhagavad Gita and learning from senior Vaishnavas, that whenever we are going through such difficult situation, we know that it is as temporary as the winter or summer, right? And whatever difficulties we are going through, it is our purification to go back to Krishna, right? So with this, we get lot of strength, internal strength to face the situation. So in this situation, rather than reacting, we tend to respond to the situation. So you see there are many suicides happening because they have absolute no hope what is going to happen, and they think that this is the end of everything. So, and they take drastic measures without this knowledge or by the ignorance. So the person in Krishna consciousness with this knowledge, they always see that ray of light, ray of hope, that whatever I am going through, it is my purification to go back to Krishna. We will discuss more in detail about this in this section. So, Santoshi Bopanna Mataji, you wish to read these 2 shlokas, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Kim karma किं कर्मेति कवयो व्यत्र मोहिताः तते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वा मोक्ष्यसे शुभात् कर्म. Shall I go ahead?
Go ahead, Mataji.
कर्मणो व्यापि बोद्धव्यं च विकर्मणः अकर्मणश्च बोद्धव्यं गहना कर्मणो गतिः. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So, Karuna PB Mataji, you wish to read the translation for us?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes,
Hare Krishna.
the intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. Sorry, Prabhuji. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so what is action? Yeah, we all are doing actions, right? We all are doing karma. Any action which binds us is action, and what is inaction? The action, whatever karma which do not binds us in any reaction is inaction. So what is that inaction which do not bind us in this material karmic reactions?
Prabhuji, please repeat again.
Yeah. So our actions, our karma, whatever activities we are doing, there is some reaction to it, right? Positive or negative reaction. What is inaction? Inaction is that action which do not have any reaction to our action.
But what would be that action, Prabhuji, which doesn't have any?
We will discuss further. We will discuss in next 3 shloka. We are going to discuss in detail. So I want to understand 2 things here. One is action. Second is inaction. Action has some reaction to that work. Inaction is there is no reaction to such work. So what is that inaction is the question.
Performing bhakti.
Any action in service of the Lord is inaction. For example, one of the Mataji said that we offer prasad to the Lord and we eat, right? So the prasad what we eat, we have no reaction. There is no karmic reaction to that prasad. So such an action is inaction. If I eat the food without offering to the Lord, it has karmic reaction to it. Those are actions. Is it simple? What is action? What is inaction?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much. It's so long, I was not able to, get the clear picture.
Yeah. So this is very simple, but we make it very complicated. So action and inaction, we will discuss as we progress. There is a detailed breakout room activity. Yeah. And in Krishna consciousness, one has to follow the leadership of authorized person, the disciplic succession, like the Mahajanas, 12 Mahajanas have been mentioned here in the purport: Brahma, Shiva, Narada, Manu, Kumaras, Kapila, Prahlada, Bhishma, Sukadeva Goswami, Yamaraja, Janaka, Bali Maharaja. So such Mahatmas, whatever they have done, if we read the scriptures, we can follow their thing, because they have all ultimately accepted that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and all their actions is serving the Lord. Now again, next shloka. Please keep the hands raised. Chiranjit Prabhu, please go ahead.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। कर्मण्ये कर्म यः पश्येत् कर्मणि च कर्म यः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु स युक्तः कृतस्न कर्म क्रियेत्।
Yes, thank you. So Taruni Preeti Devidasi Mataji, can you please read the translation, please?
Prabhuji, बहुत disturbance है पर मैं
Okay,
पढ़ूं?
Mataji.
One who sees in action and action in action is intelligent among men, and he is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So now we understood what is action and what is inaction. Now we will try to understand this statement: what is inaction in action and action in inaction, right? So we understood that person who is acting in Krishna consciousness for the pleasure of the Lord without any expectation of fruits of result is inaction, which is known as akarma. And karma is the one which has some action or reaction to it, to us, and vikarma is one which is forbidden action. So three things: forbidden action, action, and inaction. We will discuss in next few slides. We will discuss in detail. So a beautiful shloka which comes in line to this from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.255, which says, Anasaktasya vishayam yataram upayunjato nirbandha Krishna sambandhe yukta vairagya uchyate. So yukta vairagya. So what does a devotee does? He accepts everything. All his actions are in service of the Lord. So such action is known as inaction. And he rejects everything which is not to be used in the service of the Lord. Those are forbidden actions. So he rejects. Right? Now let us quickly go to a breakout room. I will give you around 6 minutes. So already this topic was shared in the group, so that we have a lot more points to cover. And then we will quickly have discussion on this particular topic. So as said, I see a few new devotees also joined today. So in breakout room, you join, and one representative is selected. In breakout room, everybody contributes. A representative collates the point and come and present for 1 or 1.5 minutes. So this is the plan. So action in inaction and inaction in action, you can discuss, come with some examples. Hare Krishna. Hope you all had a good discussion.
Hare
So
Krishna,
let us,
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Let us start with room 1. Who is the nominated representative?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, Prabhuji. So the point that we discussed, so transcendentalists are the one who perform inaction in action, and materialistic person, those who have some desire for material gain, they perform action in inaction, was one point. And then what is inaction? The action that we perform without any reaction, that is like we don't expect anything positive, nor we expect negative, and that is something that we do it just to serve the Lord, just the way you said, offering prasadam or doing bhakti, that is considered as inaction. And so being steady in distress and happiness. And a person who one who has developed sadhana bhakti and sense of gratification, he will be able to move from inaction to action. And yeah, so basically inaction has no personal interest, and action is always for material gain, material hope.
Okay, good, Mataji. Let us move to room 2. Let us see what room 2 has to add on this topic. Hare Krishna. Who is the nominated one? Dr. Manushi Mataji, Chanda Mataji, Shiv Kumar Prabhu, Shravani Mataji, Taruni, Devidasi Mataji. Room 2, who is coming forward?
Prabhuji, on this topic, we try to connect our action and inaction in the daily life, where we are in family and where we perform our karma, right? Where our children are there, they are performing, they are doing some degree or some work, where they are getting successful or not successful. So, and as well as we are also performing, we are going to office and we are performing our karma. So certain time in the certain limit that we definitely desiring to have the desired result, suppose making of report and data maintaining, all those things. So how to bring this action in action? So bringing up the bhava that we are only the medium, we are the nimitta matra, medium, and through us the Bhagavan wanted this action to be performed. So we will bring this bhava into the work, then our mind and heart will become at peace. Okay, we are the nimitta matra, only madhyam, and we don't have to desire the result, only we have to perform the karma. So our action becomes inaction.
Good, Mataji. Good point you brought in. Let us move to room 3. Jyoti Gupta Mataji, Karuna Mataji, Manashi Das Mataji, Praveen MS Prabhu, Santoshi Bopanna Mataji, Shweta Mataji. Room 3, who is coming forward?
Prabhu, I'll be speaking.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Action and inaction is like somebody is practicing inaction, but there is still karmic reactions to it, like an impersonalist who's like outwardly renounced, but inside he might have any material desires. Another example that was given was like Arjuna, he was thinking of giving up the war, and so that he doesn't incur any sinful reactions. Then in action is basically a karma, which is like devotional service. Like example would be like offering food to Krishna is an action, but there is no reaction to it. So this is what we are discussing.
Good, Mataji. So 3 things we are trying to discuss is, one is forbidden action, that is vikarmis who engage in forbidden action. Action is actions of karmis, and akarmis is inaction, which is for the pleasure of the Lord. Right? So one of the example from Bhagavad Gita itself, now Arjuna is fighting Though he did not wanted to fight, but as a supreme will of the Lord, he is fighting. And though he has killed many soldiers, he did not get any reaction for such action, right? And then that is action in inaction. And what is inaction in action is the nishkama karma, the symptoms of detached work, reaching to that stage of inaction is the second part. So we have discussed about karma, vikarma, akarma. Now let us move further. Next shloka, Neha Jindal Mataji, you wish to recite the shloka.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी
हरे कृष्ण।
वापस से बता दीजिए, आप नहीं समझ में आया।
हाँ, मैं बताता हूँ माता जी। सिंपल मैं आपको एग्जाम्पल दिया ना, आप भगवान को प्रसाद भोग चढ़ा के आप खाना खाएंगे, वो इनएक्शन है।
यस।
आप डायरेक्टली खाना खाएंगे, वो एक्शन है।
ओके,
जो एक्शन आप करोगे, वो आपका खुद का इंद्रिय तृप्ति के लिए उसमें रिएक्शंस रहेगा। दोज आर ऑल एक्शंस। जो भगवान का तृप्ति के लिए आप कुछ भी काम करोगे, वो इनएक्शन है माता जी। इतना समझ लीजिए बस। ओके, नाउ फर्दर मूविंग, Manushi Mataji, you want to recite this sloka?
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, you told action in inaction is Arjuna is fighting for Krishna, right?
Yes.
And inaction in action is?
Inaction in action, I said, all our endeavors, now we are rising from our Nishkama Karma to Akarma, right? So that stage is known as inaction in action.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So we have to cover a few more shlokas. Already it is 10. I want to extend 10-15 minutes. So let us move on. Chiranjit Prabhu, you please recite these shlokas, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yasya sarve sama काम संकल्प वर्जिता ज्ञानाग्नि दोग्ध कर्माणम तमहु पंडितम बुधा.
Yes.
Should I go with the next sloka?
Yes, next section. Next sloka.
त्यक्त्वा कर्म फलासंगम नित्य तृप्तो निराश्रय कर्मणीयं प्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किंचित् करोति सः.
Thank you, Prabhu. Suraj Prabhu, you wish to read the translation?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. One is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. He is said by sages to be a worker for whom the reactions of work have been burdened up by the fire of perfect knowledge. Avoiding all attachment to the results of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no fruitive action, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings.
Yes. Yeah. So again, the same topic of karma and akarma is being further elaborated here. So again, when we go back to our example of Arjuna is fighting for the supreme will of Krishna. So in Bhagavad Gita, Shloka 2.7, he surrenders, right? Saying, Shishyaste ham shadimam tvam prapannam. So he surrenders as a disciple. And then Bhagavad Gita 11.33, Krishna makes him the instrument. Nimitta matram bhavasavya sachi. So Arjuna becomes the instrument in the hands of Krishna. That is the reason when we are in engagement for as a service of the Lord, no other reactions come on to us. So when we discuss the point, the person who is engaged in Krishna consciousness do not have this law of karma acting on it. This is what we are trying to understand. All our actions when we are doing as a devotional service to the Lord, law of karma do not act on us. Let us move further. Next two slokas. Who is to take it up? Quickly take it up. Neha Jindal Mataji. Please go ahead with these two slokas.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. निराश्रियत चित्तात्मा त्यक्त्वा सर्वपरिग्रहाः शरीरं केवलं कर्म कुर्वन्नाप्नोति किल्बिषम् यदृच्छालभसन्तुष्टो द्वन्द्वितो विमाच्रां समां असिद्धो च कृत्वापि नान्यबध्यते.
Thank you, Mataji. Translation, please. Aruna Mataji, you want to take it up now? Translation of these two slokas.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Such a man of understanding acts with mind and intelligence, perfectly controls use of all sense of proprietorship over each position, and acts only for the bare necessities of life. Thus, working is not affected by sinful reaction. He who is satisfied with gain which comes of his own accord, who is free from duality and does not envy, who is steady in both success and failure, is never entangled, although performing actions. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. So this again is a very important learning key takeaway for us from today's thing. We are all struggling, suffering because of our proprietorship. We trying to be the controller of the situation. We trying to be the owner. Yeah. So here Krishna says we need to give up our sense of proprietorship. So there's a beautiful sloka, Ishavasam principle from Sri Ishopanishad, which says, Ishavasamidam sarvam yat kincha jagatan jagat tena tatvena punjita mahagrida kashyasvidhanam. So once one who knows that Krishna is the supreme proprietor of all that living, animate and inanimate, and we are just a caretaker of that, then we don't have that attachment to our material belongings. So this is very important thing, and we have to keep our life very simple, knowing that, and do not over endeavor. What do you mean by over endeavor in our material responsibilities? We are all professionals. What is that over endeavor? That is compromising our personal sadhana. Somebody working 16 hours a day is like working like a donkey, right? So if you spend first 2 hours in the morning for our sadhana, Krishna gives us enough intelligence to manage all our activity within that 8 hours of time, whatever is necessary. And then we have to spend time for our spiritual progress. And 4.22, what is the key learning? The Krishna consciousness person does not make much endeavor. That is what he's telling, to even to maintain his own body. The example of Shat Goswamis are being mentioned here. And he is satisfied with whatever he has received by the mercy of the Lord than over endeavoring for material accomplishments. And again, it says, Krishna consciousness person is steady in both success and failure. He accepts both as his mercy. When he is successful, he thinks that he is not qualified to get this success, but Krishna is more. It is Krishna's mercy, right? In failure, he thinks that he deserves even worse, but Krishna is so mercifully has only given this much to me. But what are we trying to do? Most of the mundane people, whenever they are success, they think that I have done this, and whenever he is in failure, he thinks why Krishna has given this to me. Yeah. Next to sloka, we will try to end after this particular thing. Yeah, after these two slokas. Who is to take up this sloka? Last two sloka for the day. Kalpana Mataji, please go ahead.
Tata sangasya muktasya ज्ञानावस्थितचेतसः यज्ञायाचरतः कर्म समग्रं प्रविलीयते ब्रह्मार्पणं ब्रह्महवित् ब्रह्माग्नौ ब्रह्मणाहुतं ब्रह्मैव तेन गन्तव्यं ब्रह्म कर्म समाधिना.
Thank you, Mataji. So is there anybody who have not participated today in any of the translation? I tried to pick all. Anybody else left out? Anybody can take up.
Hare
Kesha
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Yeah, who's that, Mataji?
Okay, I wanted to read, but if Kesha Prabhu has not participated.
No, anybody is okay, Mataji. This is mercy from the Lord participating in this Shravanam Kirtanam.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Go ahead, Mataji.
The work of a man who is unattached to the modes of material nature and who is fully situated in transcendental knowledge merges entirely into transcendence. A person who is absorbed in Krishna consciousness is surely to attain the spiritual kingdom because of his full contribution to the spiritual activities, in which the consummation is absolute, and that which is offered is of the same spiritual nature. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So the Krishna consciousness person is freed from all dualities and contamination of material mode. So we need to understand, as I said before, there will be good days, there will be bad days, even for the devotees, but devotees always stay steady in such dualities. And one more important shloka which comes in this context is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Shloka 6. It says, Savai pumsa paro dharmo yato bhakti adokshaje ahituki apratiyata yayatma suprasiddhati. So here all his works technically becomes sacrifices, as every sacrifice is satisfying. And the resultant reaction to all such work certainly merge into transcendental liberation. The conditioned soul entangled in material contamination cannot get out of material atmosphere. Only it can get out only through this. So what we are trying to understand is the soul can be only happy by engaging in parodharma. What is the parodharma? Is the supreme occupation is to engage in devotional service, and most importantly, how that activity should be. We are talking about our karma, and how that activity should be is by unmotivated. Ahituki apratiyata. It should be unmotivated and continuous. We all engage in devotional service, but after some time that enthusiasm will drop down, right? So this is the only way we can be happy, is engaging in devotional service, unconditional and continuous, is what we understand. And we touched upon the Ishavasya principle. There are few examples given here. So it says the working on one's own account and working on God's account. Here the example of cashier is discussed. Cashier receives millions of rupee, he counts, but does he has any ownership? We discussed about not having this proprietorship, right? So we have to be like a cashier in the bank, that though he is counting so many cash, he is only satisfied with his salary. Similarly, whatever we have, we need to utilize to the quota what we have, and then engage everything in service of the Lord. And similarly, when we are serving the Lord, when an example is given here is the soldier killing the people in the army, he will be awarded with different thing like Paramveer Chakra and so on. At the same time, if the soldier comes on a vacation and kills his neighbor, he will be immediately behind bar. So what do we need to understand? Our engagement, when we are doing our activities for the pleasure of the Lord, that is inaction, that is akarma. If I do my activity for my sense enjoyment, that is action, which will put me under the bindings of material modes of nature. So with this, we will end our session here. We will take further in the next section. Sorry, I had to join late for some other, I was part of some other session and also extended. So thank you very much for your patient listening. Any quick question from today's session we can take, and also wish to take some key takeaways from you all from today's topic of discussion, and then we can wind up.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Actually, in today's class, you have told, right, Prabhuji, Lord Shiva told Aradhananam, Vishnu Aradhanatam. So that sloka in where it was mentioned, Prabhuji?
I will check and I will post it, Mataji. That reference I have mentioned somewhere. I will let you know, Mataji. I'll
Okay,
put it in
thank
the
you,
group.
Prabhuji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Rajalakshmi
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Pranams.
Krishna.
Can I ask you a silly question, please?
Silly
Prabhuji,
questions
you
are very good.
emphasized on devotional service, right?
Yes.
How exactly does one define devotional service? I know that anything small or big done for Krishna is devotional service, but when we keep mentioning this, how exactly or what exactly constitutes devotional service?
Mataji, even as said, Shravanam Kirtanam, it starts with Shravanam Kirtanam, right? So attentive chanting is also a service to the Lord. And anything, for example, for us, ISKCON, Krishna consciousness movement is preaching movement, right? So anything which is contributing to expand this Krishna consciousness message to so many conditioned souls out there is all comes under devotional service. I know you are engaged with so many services. Even a simple service of forwarding one post, a link in a group is also a devotional service. Our mood is what matters. If our mood is to serve our Guru and Gauranga, that is devotional service. If you are doing lot of service for puja prana pratishtas, right, that is not part of devotional service. We may be doing lot of activities in our service, but if we are expecting some recognition out of it, then that is not the right mode of devotional service. Anya abhilashita shunyam defines devotional service, Mataji. Whatever we are doing for the pleasure of Guru, pleasure of Gauranga, without any expectations, is devotional service.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you
Prabhuji,
so
can
much.
I ask a question?
Yes, Mataji, please.
I have a couple of questions actually. One is that we are joining new in your class, but we are also doing the later modules with Aishwarya Mataji. Now, can we also get chances to read purports and translations however you want? And the second question is,